A LeFlore County Sheriff's deputy has been shot and killed. A Worcester police officer was also injured after a standoff this afternoon. This happened near Worcester, Oklahoma. Police say they were called to a property off Highway 270 for a welfare check. We're going to send things straight out to 5 News anchor Morgan Wrigley, who is live at the scene. We just heard from investigators about what exactly led up to this tragic situation. Morgan, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Lauren, so all that information coming from the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation tonight, like you said, that LeFlore County deputy who we told you earlier tonight was shot in that standoff has died. The Worcester officer, they said, was also shot and injured, but is stable tonight. Now, we don't know much about the suspect, but we do know that he is in the LeFlore County jail tonight, and we expect to learn more from investigators later on about that. So we'll let you know as soon as we do. But here's what we do know about what happened so far. This all started right here about 11 o'clock this morning. LeFlore County deputies were called to a home here along Highway 270, just a few miles west of Worcester, for a welfare check. There were other agencies here too, including Worcester Police and Oklahoma Highway Patrol. Now, OSBI said as soon as all those agencies got here, a man inside that home immediately started shooting at officers and continued shooting at them after they returned fire. The standoff lasted until about 4 p.m. The man eventually surrendered and was treated for minor injuries at a nearby hospital, and he has since been booked into the LeFlore County Jail.
So right now our crime scene unit, our special agents are looking over the scene, processing the scene, looking at the home, the exteriors, the interiors, and going through our normal protocols during this. But again, our thoughts and prayers are with the entire LeFlore County community, the town of Worcester. There were no other subjects involved. Nobody else is at large, so the community is safe at this time.
Now, OSBI said that they're not going to release the identities of the deputy who was killed or the officer who was injured tonight. But again, we do expect to learn more about the suspect, possibly about charges soon. We'll let you know about that on air and online on our website, 5newsonline.com, as soon as we get that information. And as you can see behind me, the scene has really started to clear out. There's a few officers still here, but if you drove through this area earlier today, you would have seen a massive law enforcement presence, also just traffic blocked off, people lined up for miles along the side of the road. And 5 News reporter Laura Castleman was here for that, really in the thick of the investigation. She's joining us live now as well. Laura, what can you tell us about what you saw today?
Yeah, Morgan, I've been on scene here for several hours, and throughout my time here, I have seen a massive agency reporting. So drivers I spoke to said that they sat for hours. Tensions were high as people waited, wondering about the massive amounts of law enforcement blocking the roads. Agencies like the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations, and emergency crews were all working the scene. I also saw a Bearcat, an armed vehicle, moving in and out of the property behind me. Oklahoma Bureau of Investigation says this is all protocol to keep not just officers safe, but civilians as well.
The armored vehicles you guys have seen go by, those are vehicles that are used to bring in additional law enforcement to help. Obviously, you're not sure how long that's going to take and how much more gunfire that the officers could take, and so they're just doing everything they can to provide help.
Yeah, and other people that I spoke to that were stopped on the highway said that they couldn't believe a tragic event like this can happen in their hometown. In Worcester, covering news where you live, Laura Castleman, 5 News.
Morgan, Laura, thank you for that. Tonight, multiple surrounding agencies have taken to social media offering and asking for prayers for those impacted. The Haskell County Sheriff's Office says they're extending their thoughts and prayers to both departments during this difficult time, and they stand ready to assist in any possible way. In Crawford County, their Emergency Communications Center says they're lifting up that deputy, their family, and fellow deputies during this time, acknowledging the strength it takes to answer the call daily. OSBI says the best thing the community can do now is pray.
Please keep everybody involved in your prayers, family, the sheriff, the chief out here in Worcester, that, this is you never know when something like this could occur. Again, this was a call out that they were responding to and doing what they could to help. Sometimes whenever deputies respond to these kind of calls, you just don't know what you could be going into, and extremely sad.
We'll have the latest from Worcester tomorrow on your 5 News This Morning. The latest updates can be found over on our website, 5newsonline.com. If we have any special coverage or additional press conferences, those will be streamed over on 5 News Plus. Let's turn now to the forecast to look at the start of the work week. Noah Simmons joins us now. It was a pretty nice day outside to get outside and maybe ride some bikes on the Greenway. Just a really, really enjoyable day out there.
Yes, that's right, Lauren. It was a great afternoon to enjoy some sunshine, some comfortable temperatures out there. But, man, we did start on the chillier side. Take a look at these lows earlier this morning. Fayetteville at Drake Field was the coldest reading that we saw at 35. But look at some folks in the River Valley. Saw 37 in Clarksville to Ozark to Sallisaw. Meanwhile, Fort Smith Airport got to 40 this morning. At least the afternoon was pleasant. We saw some of those temperatures get up to 70 to 74 roughly. And, man, once that sun sets, those temperatures get a little back on the chillier side. So if you had to go out maybe one last time this evening or later tonight, I would recommend the sweatshirt or the sweater there, as we're seeing those temperatures start to fall a little bit. 50 right now in Fayetteville, 53 is in Ozark, and 52 in Sallisaw, 54 in Poteau. So you get the idea, a little bit cooler out there. We're going to be seeing our temperatures, though, fall into the 40s. So that's where we start in Northwest Arkansas tomorrow. Lots of sunshine to enjoy out there. I think we'll get our high temperatures just a few degrees warmer compared to what we saw there near Sunday. For the River Valley, a few more clouds out there, especially building in late. Temperatures getting up to the upper 70s. That's where we top out tomorrow. So got some pleasant afternoons ahead, but our weather pattern gets a bit more active here starting about 5 days from now. We'll break that down. The full forecast coming right up.
Thank you, Noah. Today marks 31 years since the bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. Elizabeth Fritz takes us to the remembrance ceremony honoring the 168 people killed in that attack.
Sunday marks 31 years since the bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah building. Oklahoma lost 168 people that day and honored each of them in today's annual remembrance ceremony.
Today, yeah, my heart is really heavy.
It's been more than 3 decades since LaDonna Battle Leverett lost both of her parents in the April 19, 1995 Murrah building bombing.
I would never have ever thought it would have been in Oklahoma City. You know, why Oklahoma City?
But knowing the answer wouldn't make a difference. That fateful day will stay with her for life.
It changed us. It changed who we were. It changed how we walk, how we live.
Dozens of others nearby shared her grief, walking alongside the reflection pool, taking photos near empty chairs, and listening to the names of the 168 victims.
Margaret Betterton Goodson.
Onita Johnson, who lost her mother Norma Jean Johnson in the bombing, says she brings Jean's great-granddaughter to the ceremony every year to honor her memory.
I want people to remember not only what can happen, but what can, the joy that can come out of meeting. We basically have all become new family.
She says over the years, she has found a new community, one that embodies strength and unity. Johnson wants April 19th, 1995 to be remembered so it's not repeated.
It was terror and anger and people not talking about things that caused this to happen.
And despite all that was lost,
here we are. We're still standing. We're not going anywhere.
Resilience remains.
31 years later.
Chris Fleming, chairman of the Board of Trustees for the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum, took a moment today to also honor the first responders who helped on the day of the bombing.
Happening tomorrow, Joseph Duggar is set to be back in court facing charges out of Bay County, Florida. Duggar was arrested in March, accused of molesting a 9-year-old girl during a family vacation in Panama City Beach in 2020. Days after his arrest on a Bay County warrant, Duggar was also charged in Arkansas with 4 counts of false imprisonment and 4 counts of child endangerment. If convicted on the Florida charges, Duggar could face a life sentence. His next court appearance in that case is set for tomorrow morning at 9. Also happening tomorrow, Fayetteville residents are being asked to conserve water for the next 3 days. The city is asking all water customers to limit all non-essential water use, which is irrigation, washing cars, and filling swimming pools from Monday through Wednesday. During these days, the Beaver Water District is advancing improvements to its water treatment and transmission system. The city says during this critical infrastructure work, customers shouldn't see any noticeable service impacts. A disturbing story out of Shreveport, Louisiana, where 8 children were shot and killed in what authorities are calling a domestic disturbance. Police responded to reports of shots fired earlier today. Officers say they discovered the bodies of 8 children in 3 nearby homes. 2 other people were wounded. Police also say they shot and killed the person responsible for the shooting after a short chase which involved a carjacking. Investigators believe the shooter was related to some of the victims. Authorities have not yet released the names of the victims or the suspected shooter. Well, don't expect gas prices to drop anytime in the near future. Energy Secretary Chris Wright said prices may not return to under $3 a gallon for months earlier today on CNN's State of the Union. The average cost of a gallon of regular gas today is $4.05.
That could happen later this year. That might not happen till next year. But prices have likely peaked and they'll start going down. Certainly with a resolution of this conflict, you'll see prices go down. Prices across the board on energy prices will go down. Putting this 47-year conflict to an end and preventing Iran from getting nuclear weapons, of course, has come with short-term disruption. I think we've managed it fantastically, though.
Drivers were paying about $2.98 a gallon in late February before the U.S.-Israeli conflict started with Iran. President Trump says a U.S. Navy destroyer has attacked and seized an Iranian-flagged vessel in the Gulf of Oman, which is at the entrance to the Strait of Hormuz. The president also warned Iran its critical infrastructure would be destroyed if the regime did not agree to a peace deal. This comes as concerns are growing about the potential impact of the conflict on the travel industry. Jet fuel prices have nearly doubled since the war began, and airlines are cutting routes this summer amid the rising fuel costs.